our own country, the United States, had been influenced seriously right from the beginning by the very culture out of which these Northern Irish Orange men were parading and presenting their Christian and historic values. For example, I discovered that General Washington's strongest and most loyal soldiers were Northern Irish Orange men at Valley Forge and during the Revolution. I discovered that the earliest movements against the British during the American Revolution had been led by many of these same people with their strong principles of civil and religious liberty. I discovered that 6 presidents of the United States had come from this Protestant Northern Irish culture, which, far from being a bigoted and sectarian mindset, had been a kind of broad cultural stream which had been very rich in presenting liberty, diversity, and all the things that I thought were mainstream American values, and that these had had a vast but somewhat underplayed influence in the history of our country.
The Orange Parades on July 12th are not just a celebration of the victory at the Boyne, but an outward expression of the Protestant culture in Northern Ireland.
Every person and every culture and every tradition have their way of expressing themselves. Most people express themselves by speaking, others express themselves by writing, others express themselves by drama, and there's so many different ways. And the way the Orange Order express themselves is basically through parading. That is their way of saying, we are the Orange Order, we stand for civil and religious liberty for all and special privileges for none. And this is our way of doing things. It's our way of life.
Children growing up in the Orange Lodge are exposed to this culture at an early age.
Last night there was 2 joined here last night, and it made me feel very proud because there'd been juniors, came up through the juniors, and it's very nice to see them doing that. At least you feel you're doing something worthwhile.
My son, who's 7 years old, is a member of the Junior Lodge. I hope that he would grow up to become a member of the Senior Lodge, because I think it'll make him a better person within himself. It'll give him a way in his life to look ahead. It forms you, I think, to be a better person.
Being a child in the Orange Lodge was just a way of life. You know, you got to meet a lot of friends and got to go to different activities, and it was something you always looked forward to. The children in the lodges attend more of a social group. They come along to meet friends and to learn about the lodge and to hopefully develop into the Senior Lodge.
Well, it's a day where you meet other Protestants. Everybody, it's a joyful day. It's a day to celebrate. You meet people maybe you haven't met for a year. So it's a day to get together, it's a day to enjoy. Most people go to the platform, listen to the religious service that's there, and then also to the political speeches.
To me it means a day out, a carnival day, a day that we can have fun together. Not political, just of our traditions that we have grown up with. Definitely nothing political. It's mostly religious.
For centuries, music in the Orange Lodge has been seen as a unifying factor.
Qualitative psychological research in Northern Ireland over the past 20 years, which I've been involved in quite largely, we have explored the psychological role of bands and marching and parades. First of all, marching and parades are very much part of every culture.
Magherafelt band here will lead us on the 12th day, and you can't walk without a band because you can't stay in step. So it's very important.
My oldest daughter, who's now 5 years of age, is in the band that I am in. I've been in this band now since I was 5 years of age. So it really is a family band. We have my father's here, along with my brothers, and all my relatives are also here who have connections with the band or with our local lodge.
Here in Magherafelt, we're very privileged to have our own band, Magherafelt Sons of William Flute Band, and they have been going for many years. I think they're dated back as far as the early 1900s.
Music now, especially for the young ones, it's usually when the young ones they join the junior lodge, and then I seem to lose them before when they come to about 13, 14, for they join the band. So they do. And I think it keeps, it occupies them, and it keeps them out of trouble. So it does. And it's a tradition. So it is. It's our culture.
Here in Northern Ireland, we now find that accordion bands, having interviewed many of these young people, the accordion bands tend to be evangelical by orientation. They tend to play and oriented towards hymns from the hymn books, from Sangster, from Moody, and from the Anglican Church hymnal. And many of these people are very much involved in supplementing church music. They're non-political, and they're mostly rural by structure.
The role the band plays for young people in the town is it helps to bring them into a group of people and gets them to socialise with each other, and it helps them to interact with each other, and it brings out their musical skills, and it encourages them to take part in team building things and becoming a team as a band. And it keeps them off the streets and keeps them away from drugs, etc. and all, because they're always in with the band and doing different activities.
It keeps them out of mischief, keeps them away from maybe bad influence in life, like the paramilitaries.
The parades celebrate Christian faith and therefore take a stand against the secular forces so prevalent in the world today. While both the Roman Catholic Church and the Protestants in all their denominations are Christians at the core, there are fundamental differences in their understanding of their relationship to God. Remembering the victory at the Boyne is to remember these differences. These differences are still seen by some as a source of friction today. The way in which these differences are addressed may determine the strength of the Orange institution in the future.